Imagine walking into the gym without eating a single thing. No breakfast, no pre-workout snack, no protein shake. Just you, your body, and an empty stomach. Most people think this is a terrible idea. You need fuel to exercise, right? You need energy from food to power through your workout. But what if that's not entirely true? What if science says your body can actually perform better, burn more fat, and even protect your muscles when you exercise on an empty stomach? Today, we're diving deep into what really happens when you combine fasting with exercise. We'll explore why some people feel stronger and sharper when they train without eating. We'll look at which types of exercise work best during a fast and which ones you might want to avoid. And we'll cover how to train safely after you break your fast. Before we go further, a quick note. This is educational content, not medical advice. Everyone's body is different. If you have any health conditions or concerns, please talk to your doctor before trying fasted exercise. With that said, let's get into the science. To understand why fasted exercise can be so effective, we first need to understand where your body actually gets its energy. Your body stores energy in two main forms. The first is glycogen. Glycogen is simply glucose that's been stored in your liver and muscles. Think of it as your body's quick access energy. The average person stores about 400 to 500 grams of glycogen, which provides roughly 1600 to 2000 calories of energy. This supply typically lasts about 12 to 24 hours, depending on your activity level. The second form is body fat, and this is where things get interesting. Even a relatively lean person carries tens of thousands of calories stored as fat. That's enough energy to last for weeks, sometimes even months. Your body has an enormous reserve of fuel just sitting there waiting to be used. So here's the problem. Your body prefers to use glycogen first. Burning glycogen is faster and easier. It's the path of least resistance. So as long as glycogen is available, your body will keep reaching for it instead of tapping into your fat stores. Now here's something that might surprise you. The food you eat before a workout doesn't actually fuel that workout. Not directly anyway. When you eat something, it sits in your stomach for 2 to 5 hours while your body breaks it down. Then it moves to your small intestine where nutrients are absorbed over the next 4 to 12 hours. So the energy from your breakfast isn't available for your morning workout. That energy comes from what you ate yesterday. When you feel energized after eating before exercise, that feeling comes from hormones and expectations, not from the calories you just consumed. Your body releases hormones in anticipation of incoming fuel, and that makes you feel ready to go. But the actual energy, that's coming from your stored reserves. So what happens when you don't eat for 12 to 16 hours? Your glycogen starts running low. And when glycogen gets scarce, your body has no choice but to switch to burning fat. This process produces molecules called ketones, which serve as an alternative fuel source. And this is where fasted exercise becomes particularly powerful. There's a concept called metabolic flexibility. A healthy body can smoothly switch between burning glucose and burning fat depending on what's available. But if you eat constantly throughout the day, your body never needs to access its fat stores. It gets lazy at burning fat because there's always glucose around. Fasted exercise trains your body to become better at this switch. It teaches your system to efficiently use both fuel sources. Over time, this makes your metabolism more adaptable and more efficient. And this is just the beginning. Now let's look at what actually happens inside your body when you exercise in a fasted state. First, you burn significantly more fat. When you exercise without eating, your body doesn't have a fresh supply of glucose to work with. Insulin levels are low, And when insulin is low, fat is free to leave your fat cells and be used for energy. A comprehensive analysis published in the British Journal of Nutrition reviewed 27 studies involving 273 participants. The conclusion was clear. Aerobic exercise performed in a fasted state leads to significantly higher fat oxidation compared to exercise performed after eating. How much higher? Some studies suggest 20 to 30% more fat burning during fasted exercise. The explanation is straightforward. When you eat before exercise, insulin rises. And insulin essentially locks fat inside your fat cells, preventing it from being released and burned. When you fast, that lock is removed. Your body can freely access its fat stores and use them for fuel. Second, growth hormone increases dramatically. Growth hormone is produced by a small gland in your brain called the pituitary gland. It does two important things for your body. It helps build and repair muscle tissue, and it signals your fat cells to release stored fat for energy. Here's what's fascinating. Both fasting and exercise independently trigger growth hormone release. When you combine them, the effect is amplified significantly. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism followed 8 healthy men through different conditions. During exercise, growth hormone levels rapidly increased to more than 10 nanograms per milliliter. During 72 hours of fasting, growth hormone levels were about 3 times higher than normal throughout the day. Other studies have recorded increases of 5 to 14 times the baseline levels in both men and women. What does this mean for you? When you exercise while fasting, you're triggering growth hormone from 2 different sources simultaneously. This hormone helps protect your muscle mass while promoting fat breakdown. It's one of the key reasons why people who combine fasting with exercise often maintain or even build muscle while losing fat. Your body is remarkably smart. When food is scarce, it doesn't want to break down precious muscle tissue. Muscle is essential for survival, for movement, for finding food. So growth hormone rises to protect it. Third, insulin sensitivity improves significantly. Insulin sensitivity refers to how well your cells respond to insulin. When sensitivity is high, your body only needs a small amount of insulin to move glucose into your cells efficiently. When sensitivity is low, which is called insulin resistance, your body needs more and more insulin to do the same job. Over time, this can lead to a range of health problems. Here's why fasted exercise helps improve this. When you exercise, your muscles need glucose for fuel. During this process, your muscles become more receptive to taking in glucose, even without much insulin present. When you're fasting, insulin is already low to begin with. Combine these 2 factors, and your body learns to manage glucose more efficiently with less insulin. Research shows that exercising in a fasted state can improve insulin sensitivity more effectively than exercising after eating. And this improvement lasts for many hours after your workout ends. For long-term metabolic health, this is a significant benefit that compounds over time. Fourth, mental clarity increases noticeably. Many people report feeling more alert, more focused, and mentally sharper when they exercise on an empty stomach. This isn't just imagination or placebo effect. There's solid science behind it. Part of this comes from a protein called BDNF, which stands for brain-derived neurotrophic factor. BDNF supports the growth and development of nerve cells in the brain. It enhances learning, memory, and overall cognitive function. Studies show that both fasting and exercise increase BDNF production. When you combine them, levels may rise even higher. Another factor is ketones. When you fast, your liver produces ketones from fat. These ketones can cross the blood-brain barrier and provide energy directly to your brain. Your brain actually functions very efficiently on ketones. Some research suggests it may even prefer them over glucose in certain situations. There's also norepinephrine, a neurotransmitter that increases during fasting. It promotes alertness and focus. It's the same chemical that activates when you need to react quickly to something important. Now there's an evolutionary perspective that helps explain all of this. Thousands of years ago, our ancestors didn't have refrigerators or grocery stores. They often woke up hungry and had to hunt or search for food before they could eat. If their bodies became weak and foggy when hungry, they wouldn't be able to catch prey or find food. They simply wouldn't survive. Those whose bodies performed well during fasting, who became sharper and more alert when hungry, had a better chance of survival. Over many generations, this trait was passed down through natural selection. Your body today still carries this ancient programming. It knows how to function well without food. This isn't a flaw in the system. It's a feature. It's how humans were designed to operate. Quick question for you. Do you usually eat before or after your workouts? Drop your answer in the comments. I'm genuinely curious to know which approach you prefer. Now here's where things get practical. Not all exercise is created equal when you're fasting. Let's start with aerobic exercise at low to moderate intensity. This includes activities like walking light, jogging, easy cycling, or gentle swimming. The kind of exercise where you can still hold a conversation without gasping for air. This type of exercise is ideal for fasted training. At lower intensities, your body primarily burns fat for fuel. It doesn't need much glycogen. You can sustain this kind of activity for a long time without running out of energy, even when you haven't eaten for many hours. If you're new to fasted exercise, this is absolutely where you should start. Go for a morning walk or an easy bike ride before breakfast. See how your body responds before trying anything more intense. Next, let's talk about anaerobic exercise at high intensity. This includes HIIT workouts, sprinting, jump rope at maximum effort, or any exercise that leaves you breathless with your heart pounding hard. High-intensity exercise relies heavily on glycogen for fuel. When you push hard, your body needs quick energy and glycogen provides that. The challenge is that after 12 to 16 hours of fasting, your glycogen stores are already partially depleted. So you might feel weaker than usual during intense exercise if you haven't eaten. However, research offers some encouraging news. A study found that after 4 weeks of adapting to a very low carbohydrate diet, participants maintained their high-intensity exercise performance. Their bodies had learned to function effectively with less glycogen available. The key is adaptation. If you're new to fasted exercise, don't jump straight into intense HIIT sessions. Start with lower intensities and gradually work your way up as your body adjusts over several weeks. Finally, there's resistance training or weightlifting. You can lift weights while fasting. Many people do it successfully. Each heavy set will use some glycogen, but the elevated growth hormone helps protect your muscles during the workout. There's one important consideration though. Weight training creates tiny tears in your muscle fibers. That's actually the point of resistance training. Your body then repairs these tears, making the muscle stronger than before. But this repair process requires protein as raw material. If you lift weights and then continue fasting for many more hours afterward, your body won't have the building blocks it needs for proper repair and recovery. So the recommendation is to eat a protein-rich meal within a few hours after resistance training, even if you trained in a fasted state. Here's a simple summary for exercise selection. If you're just starting out with fasted training, stick to low-intensity aerobic exercise like walking or easy cycling. Once you're comfortable with that, you can increase to moderate intensity. After several weeks of adaptation, you can experiment with HIIT or weight training if you choose. But always listen to your body. Start light progress gradually and don't push too hard too soon. Now, knowing what to do during fasting is one thing, but some people shouldn't be doing fasted exercise at all. Let's cover who should avoid this and what warning signs to watch for. Fasted exercise is not appropriate for everyone. If you're pregnant or breastfeeding, this is not the time to experiment with fasted training. Your body has increased nutritional demands. If you have a history of eating disorders, fasted exercise could trigger unhealthy patterns. Please work with a healthcare professional instead. If you have type 1 diabetes or use insulin, fasted exercise can be risky without proper medical supervision. Blood sugar management becomes much more complicated. If you have chronic kidney disease, your body handles electrolytes and waste products differently. Fasting adds additional stress. If you're underweight, you likely don't have adequate energy reserves for fasted exercise. If you take medications that must be taken with food, you'll need to eat regardless of your exercise plans. And if you're completely new to both fasting and exercise, don't start both at the same time. That's too much change at once. Get comfortable with one before adding the other. Even if fasted exercise is appropriate for you, there are warning signs that mean you should stop immediately. Severe dizziness that doesn't improve when you rest, heart palpitations, or a racing heart that continues after you've stopped exercising. Confusion or difficulty thinking clearly, which is the opposite of the mental clarity we discussed earlier. Extreme weakness that prevents you from completing exercises you normally find easy. Nausea or vomiting. Here's a simple rule. If any of these symptoms don't improve within 10 to 15 minutes of resting and drinking water, end your workout, eat something light, and consult a doctor if needed. One more important point about hydration and electrolytes. When you fast, your body loses water and minerals faster than usual. When insulin is low, your kidneys excrete more sodium and water. This is normal, but it means you need to be more intentional about staying hydrated. Symptoms of electrolyte imbalance include fatigue, muscle cramps, headaches, and dizziness. These can easily be mistaken for problems with fasted exercise itself, when really you just need water and minerals. The solution is simple. Drink plenty of water before, during, and after your workout. You can add a small pinch of salt to your water or use an electrolyte supplement. Nothing complicated is needed. All right, so you've made it through your fasted workout successfully. Now what? How you train after breaking your fast matters just as much as how you trained during it. Let's break this down into phases. The first phase covers the first 24 to 48 hours after you start eating again. During this time, your digestive system is restarting after its rest period. Insulin rises after your first meal as your body shifts from burning mode to storage and building mode. A significant amount of energy is being directed toward digestion and processing nutrients. For exercise during this phase, keep the intensity light. Walking, yoga, stretching, or mobility work are all excellent choices. This is not the time to chase personal records or push yourself hard. Give your body time to make the transition smoothly. The second phase covers 48 to 72 hours after breaking your fast. During this time, glycogen in your liver and muscles is being steadily replenished. This process takes time, usually 24 to 48 hours, to fully restore your glycogen stores, depending on what you eat. Here's something beneficial to know. After fasting, your insulin sensitivity is higher than normal. This means your body uses carbohydrates more efficiently. If you want to refuel with carbs, this is actually a good time to do it because your body will handle them well. For exercise during this phase, you can start increasing intensity. Light to moderate resistance training is appropriate. But continue listening to your body. If you don't feel ready for more intensity, wait a bit longer. The third phase begins around 72 hours after breaking your fast. By now, your glycogen stores are mostly or fully restored. Your digestive system is working normally again. Your hormones have stabilized. You can return to your regular training intensity during this phase. However, don't try to compensate for any missed training by working out extra hard. Ease back in over your first 1 or 2 sessions before returning to full effort. Finally, let's talk about protein timing after a fast. After fasting, your body is in an optimal state for building and repair. Insulin sensitivity is elevated, so protein is absorbed more efficiently. Growth hormone remains elevated for 24 to 48 hours after fasting ends. This creates an ideal environment for muscle protein synthesis, but your body needs the raw materials to work with. Prioritize high-quality protein in your first meals after fasting. This doesn't need to be complicated. Eggs, fish, meat, legumes, or yogurt all work well. Spread your protein intake throughout the day rather than loading it all into one meal. Your body can only process so much protein at once, so distributing it evenly gives you better results. Let's bring everything together now. Exercising while fasting isn't a crazy idea. It's not reckless or dangerous when done properly. In fact, your body was designed to function well without constant food intake. When done correctly, fasted exercise can increase fat burning significantly. It can boost growth hormone, which protects muscle and promotes fat breakdown. It can improve insulin sensitivity, benefiting your long-term metabolic health. And it can enhance mental clarity and focus through ketones and BDNF. The key is understanding your body and making smart choices. Choose the right type of exercise for your fasting state. Start with low intensity and progress gradually over time. Pay attention to warning signs. Stay properly hydrated. And when you break your fast, give your body the protein and nutrients it needs to recover and build. That meal you eat before exercising, it's not providing immediate fuel like you might have thought. The energy for your workout comes from what you ate yesterday, from your glycogen stores, and from your body fat reserves. When you exercise while fasting, you're simply giving your body a reason to tap into those reserves. You're training your metabolism to be more flexible and efficient. And as our ancestors demonstrated over thousands of years of human survival, your body knows exactly what to do. Here's my question for you. Some trainers say you should never exercise on an empty stomach. Others swear it's the only way to train effectively. After watching this video, where do you stand? Is fasted exercise overrated, underrated, or just right? Let me know in the comments below. If someone you know has been wondering whether they should eat before working out, share this video with them. The science might change their perspective. And if this helped you understand your body a little better, subscribe so you don't miss future videos where we explore more fascinating aspects of how your body works. Next time, we'll explore what happens during your first 24 hours of fasting. The results might surprise you. Until then, take care of yourself.